ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا من يهده الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلله فلا هادي له أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن سيدنا ونبينا وحبيبنا وشفيعنا ومولانا محمدا عبده ورسوله صلى الله عليه وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم أما بعد وقد قال الله تبارك وتعالى بعد أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم يا أيها الذين آمنوا ادخلوا في السلم كافة وقال تبارك وتعالى أيضا ولا تموتن يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله حق تقاته ولا تموتن إلا وأنتم مسلمون صدق الله العلي العظيم. My dear respected brothers and elders, my dear friends, may Allah accept all of us in this blessing day with His mercy and with His the guidance. My dear respected brothers and elders, I recite now one of the very famous, familiar Quranic ayah version. Ya ayyuhalladhina amanu udkhulu fis silmi kaffa. I think we everybody know about this ayah. Udkhulu fis silmi. Enter into the Islam. Almighty calling us. We have to consider in this ayah in three things. First of all, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala saying, Ya ayyuhalladhina amanu. Then, second point, udkhulu fis silmi. The third point, kafa. Totally. Enter into the Islam totally. This is the invitation from Almighty Allah. Almighty Allah inviting us, enter into the Islam. The inviter is Almighty, who creates us, who is look aftering us. We are under His control. Our remote controls are in His hand. He can do anything. Always is doing, creating whatever He wants. Allah giving the life to whom He want to give the life. Everything is under His control. Rabbul Alameen. He is the inviter. Inviting whom? Allah never invite the human. Ya ayyuhan nas. Allah saying, Ya ayyuhalladhina amanu. Or you believe. Allah calling believers. We are believing in oneness of Allah. We are believing in the Quran. We are believing our life after our death. We are believing in the paradise. We are believing in the hisab. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala calling us, Ya ayyuhalladhina amanu. Oh, you believe on all those things. Amantu billahi wa malaikatihi wa kutubihi wa rusulihi wal yawmil akhir wal qadri khayrihi wa sharrihi min Allah ta'ala wal ba'si ba'da al-maut. We are believing on those all things. We have to be account. We are going to be account. We have to give the accounts for our life, for our money, for our knowledge, for our everything. He will ask about our children also. He will ask about our life, how you married, you have a wife, what kind of responsibility you have. Do you fulfill your duty? Hisab. There are going to be accounts. We have to submit the accounts. We are believing on all those things. Allah first of all calling us, Ya ayyuhalladhina amanu. Oh, you believe. Enter into the Islam. You come first. Then others will come. You practice your Islam. What you are believing, please practice in your life. Then we have to understand what is the difference in between Iman and Islam. What is the difference? We are always listening to these two words, Iman and Islam. Iman and Islam. Ya ayyuhalladhina amanu, or you believe, enter into the Islam. We are saying we have to call non-Muslims. First, we have to go to others, non-Muslim brothers, footstep, and we have to say enter into Islam. No, Almighty saying, oh, you believe, you enter into Islam first. You come. Then what is the difference? All prophets ask from Allah a death in Islam. I had to die while I am a Muslim. Even the Yoosuf alayhi salatu wasalam, he's a very great prophet. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala saying about him in the one surah, Surah Yoosuf. While he was in the death of death, what he asked? What was the dua? What was his request from Almighty? رَبِّ قَدْ آتَيْتَنِي مِنَ الْمُلْكِ وَعَلَّمْتَنِي مِنْ تَعْوِيلِ الْأَحَادِيثِ فَاطِرَ السَّمَاوَاتِ وَالْأَرْضِ أَنْتَ وَلِيِّي فِي الدُّنْيَا وَالْآخِرَةِ تَوَفَّنِي Muslim. A prophet asked him from Almighty, give me a death while I am a Muslim. I am a Muslim. Allah said in the Quran, وَلَا تَمُوتُنَّ إِلَّا وَأَنْتُمْ Muslims. وَلَا تَمُوتُنَّ, you have to die while you are Muslim. Your end had to be in Islam. Your final day, your final thing had to be in Islam. وَلَلْآخِرَةُ خَيْرٌ لَكَ مِنَ الْأُولَى. We are going to account for our end, not our beginning. Then what is the difference? My dear respected brothers and elders, believing is something, there's no any cost for that. We don't need to put anything, any kind of effect on that. Just we are believing. We are believing in so many things. We are believing according to the Sharia in Almighty Allah. He is the one and only. لم يتخذ صاحبة ولا ولدا لم يلد ولم يولد ولم يكن له شريك في الملك كفوا أحد سبحان الله. We are believing on that. My dear respected brothers, believing in something is nothing much cost. Very easy. But we are believing, we have to bring that in our life. That called Islam. That called Islam. For example, we can see a lot of people are smoking. They are believing on what? This is harmful for me. I am wasting my money. This is giving the lot of problem for me in the future. How many people are dying because of smoking daily? Because of smoking, the cancer problem can come in my life. Because of smoking, my child can be affected. We are believing on that, but how many people are practicing that? Believing in something is nothing going to cost. We are believing we have to respect our fathers, our parents. If we respect them only, our kids will respect us. Kama tadinu tudanu. We are believing, brothers. But how many brothers are practicing that? We are believing, I have to take care of my kids. That is my responsibility. If I didn't fulfill the responsibility, what Allah Almighty given to me on my family, they are going to be a waste. We are believing on that. We are believing in the so many things, but we are not fulfilling that. Believing is something called that much not cost. Very easy. We have to bring what we are believing in our life. That called Islam. That called Islam. We are believing enough prayers. 5 times we have to pray. But how many people are praying? The interest is a haram. Almighty saying this, the Quran is the haram. Ya ayyuhalladhina amanu attaqullah wa dharu ma baqiya min ar-riba. Khalas. This is the final Allah's judgment. Riba is haram. That can be a 0%, no problem. Riba is haram. But we are believing on that. We are never ever saying this halal lawful. But we are saying haram. But what we can do, we have to do. We are in a situation. My dear respect, brothers and elders, believing in something is very easy. That's why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying in the Quran, when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala ordered to Ibrahim alayhi salatu wassalam, you sacrifice your son on my name. This is the Quran saying. Almighty Allah ordered to Ibrahim alayhi salatu wassalam, you sacrifice your son on my name. Because of my order. But so many tafsir, so many ulamas, mufassirin, given that they are taught on this ayah. On this ayah. Actually, there was not any sacrificing any qurbani. But Allah Almighty said to Ibrahim alayhi salam, you go and see how your wife take care of your son. Because in dunya, in this world, everybody need the role model. Everybody need for role models. Our kids, smalls, they need some role models. Unfortunately, nowadays, the sporters, the big brothers, or Hollywood brothers, or Bollywood brothers, become a role model for our kids. They are following them. They are cutting hair according to their style. Because everybody in this world, a businessman need for role model. A professional need for role model. A woman need for role model. To whom I going to follow? I want to like this man. I want to live like this. I want to achieve what he achieved in this world. Everybody need for someone as a role model. My dear respect brothers and elders, Islam saying to us, you have to be a role model first to your child. You have to be a role model first to your kids. Your kids have to say, this is my father's way of life. I like. Ibrahim alayhi salam was away from his family. As Hajar alayhi salatu wasalam was taking care of his son. Ibrahim alayhi salam's son. Meantime, her son also take care of his son. Very well. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala after 7 or 10 or 11 years, He asked Ibrahim alayhi salam, go and see how your wife take care your son. For that only this was test. He came, he asked from his son, oh my dear son, Almighty ordering me to be a Qurban, sacrifice you. on behalf of Almighty's name. What he said? What son's reply? If alma tu'mar, you do whatever Almighty ordered to you. My dear brothers, we have to think in this junction. If a 10-year, 11-year kids, a boy, was talking this kind of talk, he cannot talk innovatively. He needs someone as a role model to him. We are from here, Pakistan, India, Sri Lanka. But our kids are speaking Urdu, this Japanese language. How? Because they have a role model in schools. They have a role model in an environment. But if a boy is speaking here in English, we are surprising how this guy is speaking in English. Our kids. Without a role model, they cannot talk. They cannot do anything. Then Ismail Islam, while he was a 10, 11 years boy, how he said, Almighty, oh my dear father, you do whatever Almighty ordered to you. Because Hajar alayhi salatu wasalam give the training. You have to always obey your parents. You have to obey always your Almighty. You have to obey Almighty, always the elder people. You have to always obey for the prophets. That is a teaching. That is a teaching of mother. Then he was saying, Ismail Islam was saying, oh my dear father, you did whatever Almighty ordered to you. This was a discussion. This was a discussion. Nothing happened. Son is there, father is there. Son's father saying, this is order to Almighty, order from Almighty to me. Son saying what? You do whatever Almighty did, order to you. My dear respect brothers, Allah saying this is a iman. Then Allah saying, فَلَمَّا أَسْلَمَا وَتَلَّهُ لِلْجَبِينِ. Then he took his son, he pulled it out, down, he kept the knife in. Then Allah saying, فَلَمَّا أَسْلَمَا. Now they both are become a Muslim. Because discussion is something else. What I am talking is a discussion. If I bring this in my life, I am a Muslim. I am a Muslim. Islam is something, brothers, we have to bring in our life. In Prophet's day, there never been a Quran as a book. There's no any hadith books, Bukhari, Muslim, Abu Dawud. On those days, there's no any kind of digital media. But Islam spread. Sahaba went to China, Sahaba went to Indonesia, Sahaba went wherever they want to go, they went. The surrounding them, they embrace Islam. How? The one and only word. One and only word. Kunu amsalana. You become like us. You become, we are calling you, become like us. You see our life. You see our family. You see our business. You see our trustworthiness. You see our fulfilling the promises. You see our life. We know about Sahaba. They are not any Kali ulamas. Very ordinary people. But MashaAllah, the Islam was in their life. Very same to say to me also, brother, I cannot say for someone, you become like me. Then he will ask, what's the difference in between you and me? The non-Muslim will ask from me, what's the difference in between me and you? Only the difference you are going to mosque, I am going to church. Only the difference you are doing this, I am doing that. Other all part are same. We are doing the same business, the same way. Our families are same. Our behaviors are same. Our attitudes are same. What is the difference? My dear respected brothers and elders, that's why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala saying, enter into the Islam, the third point what? Kafa, totally, not partially. Totally. Mentally we have to be Muslim. Psychologically we have to be a Muslim. Actionally we have to be a Muslim. Our faith has to be Islam. Not only 5 time prayers. Not only in the month of Ramzan we are fasting. My dear respected brothers, Imam Bukhari rahmatullah is saying, you have to be a Muslim in toilet. Inside the washroom. Inside the washroom you have to be a Muslim. Because you have a law going to apply inside the washroom. You are alone, nobody is there. How you have to perform? You have to make a ghusl, bath. How you have to make wuzu? How you have to sit? How you have to clean? You cannot face the Qibla. This all laws going to apply where? In washroom. We have to be a Muslim where? In washroom also. Allah Almighty is saying, I don't want to partially. You are Muslim in prayers, you are not Muslim in your business. You are Muslim in the holy month of Ramadan, you are not Muslim in other month. You are Muslim in if you are performing Hajj. While we are going to Hajj, we are learning so many things. So many du'as. There are going to be seminars, workshops. There are going to be so many books we are reading. How we have to perform the Hajj. How the Safa, how the Marwa, how the Hajar al-Aswad. Everything we are learning. My dear respected brothers and elders, we have to think we are going to perform the Hajj once a year. Not once a year. In lifetime, once. But how many times we are going to washroom? How many times we are going to washroom? Are you know the way of Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam? How Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam entered the washroom? There is a books, Adabu Bayt al-Khala, the guidance for use the washroom, written by scholars. What is the dua? How you have to enter? How many liter water you need? How you have to clean? How you have to make wuzu? How you have to make the ghusl bath? What kind of niyyah you have to keep? What is the dua supplication after the wuzu? If you don't have, if you have any problem, physical problem, how you have to make a tayammum? This all before prayers. Then we have to think, brothers, if we are going to do a business, what a kind of guidance given to us? What a kind of guidance given to us? How, why we have to do business? Business is a big ibadah. Business is a big ibadah. As we are praying. As we are praying. The business also ibadah. Almighty Allah saying for us, udkhulu fi silbi kafa. Totally. Not partially. I don't want partially. I need a full. I need a full. May Allah guide us. Give us a tawfiq for this, to practice Islam totally. That is only the things nowadays we have to consider. How can I be as a full Muslim? My total life want to come as a Muslim. Islam is not a fundamentalism. Islam is a way of life. The way of life. How you have to live. How you have to be a good father. How you have to be a good son. How you have to be a good nation. Good nation for the country. We are living, we are very good people for that country. We are not going to do any kind of harmful thing for this country. We are peacemakers. When we are meeting others, we are saying Assalamu alaikum. Peace be upon you. We are always praying for the peace. We don't want to do any harm, any kind of hard thing or harmful thing for anyone. Then finally I am going to finish my talk. Almighty Allah saying in the Quran about the rights of others. My dear respected brothers, we had to forget about our rights. Always we have to consider about our duty. Always consider about our duty. We had to forget, or we can claim that in hereafter. But we have to consider on what? On our duty. The world is opposite side. Everybody fighting for their rights. Nobody fighting or nobody considering about their duties. I need this much of increase. I need this much of things. Everybody fighting for their rights. Nobody considering about. While we are sitting in the Qazi court for the family court, wife is coming. She is saying, my husband is not fulfilling my rights. Husband saying, this lady, my wife is not fulfilling my rights. Then who will do the rights, the duty? Everybody fighting for their. Islam always saying you have to consider about your duty. Your neighbor have a right. That is your duty, brother. That is your duty. Forget about that. Your rights. You can claim that hereafter. Or you can forget. You can forgive that. But you cannot forgive. You cannot forget about your duty. You have to fulfill that. Almighty Allah saying about the neighbors in the Quran. My dear respect brothers, Almighty saying about the two kind of neighbors. One is a permanent neighbor. One is a temporary neighbor. We came morning from Osaka to Tokyo. 2.5 hours journey in the train. Somebody was seated next to me. Who is that guy? It's the temporary neighbor. He's a temporary for 2.5 hours. He's a neighbor. I had to do something to him. I cannot harmful. I have to take care of him. My responsibility to give the good life. This is Almighty Allah teaching us in the Quran. وَالصَّاحِبِ بِالْجَنْبِ. This is that you are temporary neighbor, brother. You are flying from here to Dubai for 11 hours journey. Somebody is seated next to you. He's a neighbor to you, brother. You have to do something to him. That is your duty. Islam always teaching us about our duties. But we can forget about rights. Don't claim the rights. Don't fight for the rights. Don't argue for the rights. Always consider, always ask from Allah help to fulfill duties. May Allah give us a tawfiq, proper understand, proper guidance to His deen. Wa akhir da'wana alhamdulillahi rabbil alamin. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuh.
Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar.